Hello, this is Jason P. Wilson, Zero and X-Force, and this is my DC Comic poll list for the week of November 9th, 2011, and today's the 11th. It is a Friday. And first up here for my DC is Batman and Robin, issue number 3. Now, in general, I've been very pleased with the Bat books, with this whole DC relaunching, and it was kind of bittersweet. There were books that I was glad that got a shake-up and a changing of teams. At the same time, there were other comics that I kind of missed the teams. For instance, I really missed the team that worked on the Stephanie Brown Batgirl. But with that said, I am very pleased with the books in general. Now, the only Bat book I really have not read would be The Dark Knight. I hear that's hit and miss. I do think I might pick up the trades of the story arcs that I hear are the better ones. But I am impressed with the Bat books that I get, and I do get quite a bit. My favorites, of course, being Batman and Detective Comics. But Batman and Robin is definitely up there. It's one of the top books for me of the Bat books. And this issue is probably the strongest of the first 3. I really like the direction they're going. It's really fun seeing, father and son working together their first time in a long time. And it's definitely a much different feel than the last volume, which of course is Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne. But being Bruce Wayne and Damian Wayne together, it's been fun, and it's really heating up the story. I think the story arc is finally getting into a real nice pace right now. I like the first issue. I thought the second issue was pretty good, and the third issue is just really taken off. So it's definitely a strong first run for one of the best must-get Bat books out there, especially if you're a Batman fan. Batman and Robin number 3 is a very good comic. Next up here for my DCs is, no surprise, one of my favorite Bat books, and that is Batwoman number 3. Again, it is so nice to have Batwoman come out so quickly. I'm so used to it taking a long time to come out or not come out at all. And also, when I read Batwoman during its detective run, it was bittersweet loving it, but knowing that it was going to end soon. Now I know that this is not going to end anytime soon. We get an ongoing series with the same team, beautifully written, beautifully illustrated, and a pleasure to read. Batwoman number 3 is my favorite of the 3, and that's saying a lot because I love the first one and I love the second one. A great comic, and I can't give enough praise to this team working on Batwoman. Great. Next up is a comic that I really want to like more than I am. I'm not saying that I'm disliking it, but originally I was really sad because I was loving the last volume of Batgirl. But I was happy because I love Barbara Gordon, and I was really excited to see her being Batgirl again. And I'm glad that they kind of set back the clock a little bit and she's younger and fresher. At the same time, Gail Simone is writing it, and I was excited about that. I do like her writing, and I liked her quite a bit on Birds of Prey. But to be honest, there were story arcs in Birds of Prey that she wrote that I was, just thought were okay. And I'm kind of having this feeling here with Batgirl. I love the first issue, I like the second one, and I'm enjoying this, but in parts. I think that maybe the pacing's off. You have a lot of things going on. I think the ideas are good, but maybe the execution wasn't right. My favorite part of this is probably the towards the end, which is her and Nightwing getting together and having a fight, if you will. There's also some pretty funny internal monologue going on with Barbara Gordon as they're together. And, I like that part. I thought it was great. I also, of course, am enjoying Nightwing So it was cool to see him in her comic book. I wasn't really impressed with how they went about telling the whole mirror guy thing in here. I thought that, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. The artwork I think is good. Sometimes I'm really liking it. Other times it doesn't seem to fit the writing. So here's a book that I really want to love, but I'm not quite loving it yet. I loved it at first, but now I'm kind of just thinking, okay, well, it's kind of okay. So it's similar to the feelings I had when I was reading my less favorite story arcs of Birds of Prey. I love Birds of Prey. I love the characters, and when it was good, it was great. And other times, it was just waiting to be great again. So I'm definitely going to stick with Batgirl. It's not that it was bad. I guess I just have a really high bar for it to reach, and it just hasn't quite reached it yet. Still, the covers are great. The story is there. It's just not paced well enough, I think. And of course, the pencils inside are from either doing the job to beautiful to look at, depending on what's going on. So a pretty good comic book that I just want it to get great. Next up here is one that, of course, I canceled from my saver, but when I see it, I'm going to always be tempted to pull it because I really want to see what was going to happen from the last issue. And here we have Sinestro, and he is really have his hands full with his own core. So I thought it's a pretty unique situation, one I wasn't really expecting to read. So now that we're on number 3, even though it's not in my saver, it's easy to grab, and I definitely think I'm going to be grabbing it at least till the end of the story arc. Yeah, the cover here says it all. That's pretty much what is going on inside the book. We all know that Sinestro is a pretty cocky guy. I think in superheroes in general, you have a lot of big egos, big cocky guys that are powerful and they know it, smart and they know it, and they flaunt it way too much and get themselves in over their heads. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen him get himself over his head like this in a long time, and it's kind of fun to see that. It's definitely interesting to see his own core trying to kill him and him killing members of his own core. So it's a very cool concept for a new run on a ongoing Green Lantern series. It's not relaunched, even though it says number 3, really, because the story is discontinued. But still, if you've never read it before, you might have a few questions, but they're pretty easily answered. It's a good comic, and this is probably my favorite of the 3. I think I'm saying that a lot, but that's a good thing. If they're only getting better, that's good. And last but not least for my DC is number 2 to a, I believe, 6-part limited run by DC Comics, and that is Huntress number 2. Danger never looked this good. I was really impressed with the first issue. I thought the artwork was really cool. It had this kind of sketch quality to it, the kind of quality that I like. The pencils were, like I said, good. But the coloring was excellent. I love the color choices. I love that there were a few pastel moments and stuff. I really liked that a lot. On top of that, the writing in this book was extremely solid. Huntress is a really good character, and when Gail Simone would write her really well in Birds of Prey, she was my favorite character. It went back and forth between Huntress and Black Canary and Huntress. Those two were always fighting for my favorite bird of prey. And it did not take very long at all to give us a taste of what the Huntress is going to be like in the new DCU. And I'm really liking it. I could go for this as an ongoing series, but I'm at least happy to get a pretty lengthy limited run. Huntress, a very cool character, and if you've never read Huntress before or do not know who she is, this is an excellent series to pick up to get to know her character. So far, they've been handling her well. There are a few changes here and there on the Huntress that I knew before, but the core of who she was is still here, and I'm really looking forward to future issues of this. Excellent. The only other series that I saw that I maybe wish I picked up was the Penguin limited run. I've been hearing great things about that, and I might go and search for the past issues of that and maybe continue, or just wait for the trade. But I'm definitely going to read that Penguin limited run. I can't remember what it's called. The Prejudice and Penguin, something like that. But I definitely want to pick that up and read it because I've heard such good things about it. And I do love a good Bat Family comic book. But this, even though this is considered a Bat book, it's definitely like a second cousin or something like that. It's part of the Bat Family, but on the outskirts. A very good comic, and definitely if you have any interest in Huntress at all, a must pick up. And with that, those are my DCs for the week. Some great comics, both from Marvel and DC, and I will be posting my pick of the week very shortly after. And I'm really curious to see and hear from you guys which comics of these did you like, and which ones are you keeping in your saver. And with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.